So where was I? Barcelona? No. I was in the House of Commons. You want some, Sonny Jim? Fuck your box. My name's the Doctor and I'm here to give you Jim. Anyway, so I slapped up all these politicians like I was a scrap artist from Venus and told them to suck my You should have witnessed the techers. My combat was sensational. I pulled out my scarf and laid out strikes like a union rep. I wasn't playing charades with these bastards. But the sheer volume of custard bustards in that jug was making it overspill, so I made the situation conclude sharply. Copper sucked him up in a fell swoop, got stuck in an unswelled loop, then all went black as a Mack truck called Turner. Sometimes I get a touch impulsive with my problem solution matrix and don't contemplate the consequences. Sometimes you've got to say to yourself, sit down son, say nothing and do nothing. But I'm not that kind of fella, you see. I'm an action man, but this creates problems, and sometimes I wonder if I should have stayed in Toys R Us.
My God, you aren't half a muck.
In my dream state, I was getting lectured to by some extracurricular pawns. The geezer was banging on like Mary Whitehouse on Saturday, so I red-carded him from my consciousness and woke the fuck up. This man's alive. In some alternative nation, no clue of the postcode. Spiked the doors open. Bang. Shithole. This planet's like Thanet, stuffed to the outer brim with stuff destined for a bin. Grim. K9, where the hell are we?
Insufficient data.
Yeah, you never fucking know the answer when it's important.
In a fit of despair, I Bobby Charlton the dog into the unknown. I know familiarity breeds contempt, but that was just taking the piss. The hell is wrong with me? Who kicks their own dog? I must be a psychopath or something. I tried calling for the poor pup, but he was clearly too busy being crypto, that is to say, he wasn't cashing in. So I made a pledge to myself to find him. As I traversed this booky universe, I noticed a few things topsy and a few other things turbid. I saw this roadman in the corner and a roadman in another corner, a wasteman over here and a wasteman over there, a black cab and a butler and the spat image of Rad Butler. I thought, what the fucker is the actual deal with this planet? It's halfway Oldgate and halfway Stargate. One foot in the big smoke and t'other in Blade Runner. I put a 2 and another 2 together and realized number 4 was me. Dear, how very disturbing. How very disturbing. Ooh, her missus. Isn't this wizard? It's awkward as fuck and I'm shit out of luck because it's my business. I don't need this. I don't want this. What? I despise the situation. I despise it, and wish not to reprise it. In my efforts to rid planet Earth from Parliament like some nefarious beast, I merely extracted that section of London and spat it back out into the galaxy like some Oliver Twist. Fucking zounds, this is most workable. From here to Casterblus, I'm stuck with the rest of it. Time travel sickness. Right, hold on, kill the track. If I ripped out a whole section of London, isn't there a big fucking gap of pure wasteland? Wait, let me figure this out.
Open the door and make way for His Majesty the King.
What the king encountered had taken him aback a square, to say the least. The chamber was a beast, and there was no going back.
My God, what's happened here?
A mixed feeling or two passed him in waves, with no naves to bounce off of.
I'm not sure if I'm for it, or against
it. A potent floating thought perched on his head.
But now I find myself unencumbered by check, balance, or Senate.
And with that thought ascended, he swiftly descended into a hype unintended and unbecoming of the crown. And he madly condescended to every swat in earshot, whether they wanted to hear it or not. The former Prince of Wales came to believe he was surrounded by sharks, and gorged on his own paranoia like King George. All those who gain power are afraid to lose it, to paraphrase a Palpatinian phrase. And this boy was no exception. But a cosmic guest returned to the fray, and got a cold reception.
Treachery is in the air. I can smell it. Where are you going?
One privilege of being a monarch is that you get flushed up the toilet instead of down. I say one like there's not more than 4. Because they're a parsec far from poor. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Off with his head!
Fancy that, I found the prequel.
A bunch of corruptible going out like a punk.
A human prequel.
Time to do a Brexit.
Not to go on a tangent here.
All right, you puritanical wankers, I'm off.
I didn't co-sign this, but there's a sign that they combined. So the hole-in-one I scored on that palace swiftly seems to have bled through history, and the aforementioned fellas tripping down this hellish well are the 2 Sunday drivers who turned a Nissan and a Volvo into a Nilvo. But instead of a blunt collision, and counterintuitively to their derision, they instead sort of just bi-generated into some venerated degenerate. It was abominable. Abominable! Talk about your inbreds. Abominable! Better get a blood test, son. What the hell is that? What the fuck is it? 2 left feet and 4 right bollocks. Make it stop, please. Please, just make it stop. Wham! He touched a new world like his forefathers did time and time again. But while he was nuttier than chestnuts, conquering wasn't on his mind. So he propped himself up like a quivering bloke in the middle of some regeneration game. But he was neither Jim nor Peter Davison, just some raving, mumbling gremlin who stumbled about like he had too much Jameson.
Where am I?
Bonjour. You've experienced a biotemporal collision. You have to relax. Your Majesty, with all due respect, I'm Gallifreyan. But he didn't care. He was off like David Cameron. And like smoke out of Hamelin, we saw him no more, but were bound to inhale the residuals forevermore. A pint of Nelson, please. I gotta get into Stella. Stopped off at the pub to get wibbly-wobbly since the state of affairs had me shook. Despite London's profound transcendent displacement, pubs were still fucking open at 10 a.m. I couldn't help but realize the gaffer was a postbox. I pretended he was a normal bloke and just said hello. Hello, mate. He just stared at me autistically for 15 minutes, and I was too polite to say jog on. So I made some conversation. Crap weather, innit? And he spat in my fucking face. Now, while I've had several iterations, my current one was on blast, and it was swiftly unmasked. Now my ass was on show all over the new world. The primetime entertainment and an impending arraignment like my initials were DJT instead of TD. And Mr. Dimbleby pinned it on me for everyone to see.
It's coming to light as we speak that this was the doing of some alien geezer in a fruity scarf. You can see him pictured thusly. Rumour has it he's stopped off for a pint, but rest assured, the fuzz are on their way and he's going to get nicked any minute.
Every old Bill, Bobby and Beater stood at all inch and meter in front of this defeatee who was once defeater. And even though I wasn't dancing, the jig was most certainly up. Sometimes like a pair of scissors, you need to know when to cut. I started away like it was good for my health. And stealth weren't an option for this unmissable mission. But I was the criminal carp and they weren't half efficient. Got cornered and clocked by two blokes down the block. And when they pulled off their masks, I said, what the fuck? The helmeted fellas unvaded themselves to reveal the crust beneath, and one of them looked like Churchill, and t'other looked like Heath. And I said, ain't I seen you two before?
Not quite.
Then they gestured like Semaphore to reveal a skinny left arm and a tonk one on the right. They went through the same biotemporal collision as their wily, smiley sovereign did not 10 minutes ago. He had the head of a Winston, the knees of a Peel, Gladstone's glands, Thatcher's back, and to top it all off, he had Sunak's nutsack. A true Hennessy's freak or Renaissance man, but I wouldn't want to be him, and I'm certainly not his stan. That was my cue to press Z or R twice and roll on out of there, but there was no way out. Not an alcove in sight, but I did find a bell end. Slid underneath and hid under the hood. The only thing I could do was drink my own piss, then pray like MC Hammer. But these mamma jammers had a different strategy in mind. Sealed in what was essentially a giant amp, they delivered me a beat so stereophonic it made my skull quake something chronic. If it was on my Spotify, I'd delete it, so I stood defeated and made my surrender. Stuck my fisties up for the cuffs, clickety-click, and away we went. And I decreed henceforth I'm getting involved no more. From time travel and spacecraft, I thusly withdraw. It's more trouble than worth and maketh me a conflict whore. But first, these fellas had to bang me up. They got displaced from their planet and they're holding me responsible. And their biology's gone wonky from citizen to constable. So they've locked me in a cabinet for a duration undetermined. But hark, it's a moving like a lift or elevator. So I pulled out my tool like an escapee renovator. But there was no seal nor joint in this funky joint. If I found a bolt or screw, I'd kiss one.
Even the sonic screwdriver won't get me out of this one.
Where in Omega's bumhole am I? I got the creeping sense that this place was more hallowed than hollow. And there was no denial that I was on trial. The MPs had bounced back like predators and became galactic senators.
Doctor!
And these sinners kept on sinning.
A pleasure to welcome you to the chamber once again.
And so therefore, K9, what I thought was the end was only the beginning.
We've redecorated.
And the moment was not prepared.
We hope you like it.